Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Integrated Customer Experiences session. We're really excited to have you here. We will be sharing with you, my name is Ariane Vandekar, and we will be sharing with you how you can deliver integrated, seamless experiences for your customers. You will get an inside look into how a leading brand has been able to accomplish this using today's technologies. And we will also be giving you a sneak peek into Customer 360 and what you can expect, and how that will deliver those same experiences in the future. But first, I need to anchor all of us around our forward-looking statement. Because we will be speaking about Customer 360, which is a forward-looking product capability, please continue to make your purchasing decisions based off of what's currently available today. I'm really excited and honored to be co-presenting this session with these three great cross-cloud experts. I'm Senior Director of Product Management, and I lead the cross-cloud program at Salesforce. And with me, I have Abraham Lloyd, who is Senior Manager within our Customer Success Group and also a member of our cross-cloud program. We also have Mihir Panchal, who is Senior Director, also within our Customer Success Group, and as well leads the program, the cross-cloud program with me. And I'm really excited and honored to have Mike King up here with us, who is our Chief Technical Architect at Capgemini. And he's going to come up here and share with us how he's used the tools and resources that the cross-cloud program has built and applied it on his customer engagements. Super excited to hear what he has to say about that. But before we begin, I want to extend my deep gratitude to each and every one of you in this room for all that you do for Salesforce, for our community, for our customers and our partners, for our admins, for our MVPs, for our developers. It is because of you, it is because of your feedback, your incredible innovation, delivering on business value for our customers every single day, and I cannot thank you enough. So, today's customer expects a connected experience. Now, what does that mean? If you're like many brands that we've spoken to, you are trying to deliver seamless integrated experiences for your customers. Now let's take Rachel here as an example. She is in complete control of her commerce journey with your brand. She can engage with your brand in however way she wants and at any point in time. And she does this by accessing your application, your website. She engages with you through your advertisements, through your social media channels, through your service channels. And she has a very high expectation. She expects integrated experience with your brand. And I'm no different from Rachel. I'm a parent of 2 children. I have a 4-year-old son and a 10-month-old daughter. And just last week, I'm preparing to go on our first family camping trip in the month of June. And I don't have a camping tent. So I go into this outdoor company website, and I find exactly what I'm looking for, and I immediately add it to my cart. And it was at that moment, my little daughter, she's 10 months old, she's starting to walk. She trips over herself and falls, and she's in complete hysterics. And I completely drop whatever I was doing to immediately console her. And probably no more than 2 or 3 minutes pass, and I completely forget what I was doing before that incident occurred. How many people can relate to this? Okay, but what I expect from that brand, I expect them to send me an email reminding me to place that purchase for that tent. And when I do make that purchase, I expect that same company to send me another email detailing me all about my order. And I expect them to send me text messages telling me, giving me up-to-date information about my the shipping status and the delivery status. And when I receive that tent and I see that there's an issue with it and I reach out to the customer service agent, I expect that agent to have all of the information they need at their fingertips so they can quickly resolve my issue. That is my expectation. That is also Rachel's expectation. And very clearly, it's also your expectation when you integrate with your brands. The interesting thing here is that when you dive a little bit deeper, all of these points in Rachel's journey, the interfaces with marketing, commerce, and Service Cloud. Now you may be looking at this and be thinking, this is a huge, it's massive to deliver this. It is complex. You may be even thinking it's impossible. Well, I'm here to tell you it's great news. It's not. This is absolutely possible, and it's possible today. Now you might be asking me how. Well, we've spoken to a lot of customers and partners and prospects. And the common theme that we heard through all of these discussions and engagements is that there's essentially 6 key critical use cases that matter the most in Rachel's journey. And we refer to these things as key moments that matter. It's things like coupon redemption and product recommendations, and things like cart abandonment. These are things that integrate between Commerce and Marketing Cloud. It's things like order on behalf of and view customer order history, which integrates Commerce and Service Cloud. These are the 6 key moments that matter, that deliver the most business value to our customers. And so with that focus, Salesforce is doubling down on our investment through the cross-cloud program to build the tools and resources you all need to make these experiences come to life. And so with that, Abraham is going to come up here and share with you what are the best practices? What are the things you need to consider and embrace before you get your claws into our products? Mahir is going to come up and share with you about solution kits. These are new how-to guides that help you in your journey to implement these B2C use cases. Mike is going to share how he's applied these solution kits and all this foundation on his current customer engagements. And I'll close out the session to share with you what you can expect with Customer 360 and what that experience would be like with that new product capability. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Abraham. Go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Ariane. Okay, so what we're going to talk about are foundations. And so what does this mean? Well, when we work with customers in cross-cloud, what we see through the cross-cloud program is that customers are pretty clear on 2 things, right? They're pretty clear on the use cases that they want, the moments that matter, like Ariane said, as well as the technology they want to use. It's typically Salesforce, and it's usually some combination of connectors that are productized or available through B2C commerce. What we find missing that is a key component of success are these 3 things: data strategy, profile orchestration strategy, as well as a customer resolution strategy. So as part of integrating the clouds, we're working with lots and lots of data, right? And we're moving it from one cloud to another, all to be able to kind of generate these experiences for customers in a very, very seamless way. In order to do that, we need a strategy on 1, how to move and what to move, and 2, a common way to identify our customers. We'll talk more about that in a moment. With that common method to identify our customers, we now need the ability to orchestrate profile changes. What this means is that we want to have a master record of our customers in one place, ideally Service Cloud, but we also want to have local trustworthy representations of those customers in Commerce and Marketing Clouds. So we need a way to orchestrate changes regardless of where they come from so that all clouds are trustworthy and have trustworthy data to do the things that they just simply excel at. And with this, we also need the ability to be able to resolve who our customers are. Candidly, the majority of customer interactions are anonymous, right? And so using the information that customers provide us, we need a way to be able to resolve who they are so that we can build this rich 360-degree point of view of the customer and all of the ways that they've engaged with us over time. So this is what the foundations are. Let's dive deep into what this looks like. So the first thing is we need a place to store our master records or a master location for customer data. What we're saying is that this should be Service Cloud. Getting back to the data strategy element I mentioned before, we want to have a master in Service Cloud. We also want to have local trustworthy representations in Commerce and Marketing. Now we need to be able to tie these together and integrate them. We're going to do this in 2 ways, or with 2 means. The first is leveraging the B2C Commerce connectors for Service and Marketing. We're going to leverage a Service Cloud connector to integrate Commerce with Service. We're also going to leverage the Marketing Cloud connector to integrate Commerce with Marketing. We're also going to leverage MC or Marketing Cloud Connect to be able to integrate Service with Marketing. This creates a round-trip loop for us that enables profile orchestration and the synchronization of customer data across clouds. So I can have a master of Rachel living in Service Cloud. She can have her own profile in Commerce Cloud, and then within Marketing Cloud, she can have a contact record, and we're going to anchor all three of these on the contact ID. So if there's one thing that you get from this part of the presentation, it's that the Service Cloud contact ID is the primary key that you want to use to be able to identify your customer in any cloud, all right? This enables you to be able to interact from commerce to service and push changes through the Service Cloud connector to Service Cloud. It also enables you to orchestrate changes from service to marketing through MC Connect. So let's walk through maybe an example of what this looks like. So with profile orchestration, Rachel's going to make a change, let's say, to her Commerce Cloud profile. We need a way to be able to push that change to Service Cloud as well as propagate that change to Marketing Cloud so that whenever we interact with Rachel, we do it leveraging that contact ID. This is particularly important for Marketing Cloud because we want to anchor all of Rachel's transactional engagement data as well as her journey data to the same subscriber key. This is why we want to use the contact ID instead of something like an email address, because the contact ID will always uniquely identify her as opposed to an email address, which, all right, I'm going to nerd out a little, only really represents a channel that Rachel communicates through. So Rachel is going to change her email address from rrodriguez to rachelrodriguez@gmail.com. Leveraging the Service Cloud connector, we're going to propagate that change to Service Cloud. We're also then going to propagate that change to Marketing Cloud using MC Connect. And this is what this framework enables us to do to orchestrate profile changes. We can push and orchestrate all changes through Service Cloud and ensure that Marketing Cloud gets all the updates. So again, you want to anchor everything on the contact ID. Within the Salesforce ecosystem today, the Service Cloud contact ID is the only ID available to enable this kind of integration. This will change in the future with Customer 360. Ariane is going to talk about this in a few moments, but for now, the Service Cloud contact ID is the only way to accomplish this. So we have a data strategy in place. We understand how we're going to orchestrate profile changes. Now, guess what? We need a way to be able to resolve who our customers are. So I mentioned at the beginning, most customer interactions today, they're anonymous, right? Well, here are a couple of interesting statistics. Only about 10% of customers actually log in via their storefront accounts, okay? Aligned with that, about 80% of all storefront orders placed are actually placed through guest checkout. So if we're going to deliver on the promise of providing a rich 360-degree view of our customers that has their profile data as well as all of their engagement data from Marketing Cloud, as well as all of their engagement data in Service Cloud and purchase history from Commerce Cloud, we need a way to be able to resolve who Rachel is as she transacts with us. So in this example, we're kicking off resolution events at every one of these use case touch points. So Rachel decides that she's looking for a product, it's out of stock, she subscribes to a back in stock notification. When she does, we're going to try and resolve who Rachel is using her email address. This is going to give us back her Service Cloud contact ID, which we use as the Marketing Cloud subscriber key, which then enables us to be able to send Rachel through a journey. So this is how you would do resolution today. Again, Ariane is going to mention in a few about how you'll be able to do it tomorrow in a much, much, much more profound way, leveraging Customer 360. So now I want to hand the clicker to my good friend and leader, co-leader of the Salesforce Cross-Cloud program within the Customer Success Group, Mihir Panchal.
Thank you, Abraham. All right, so I see some familiar faces from us, the theater session outside. We covered solution kit. The most important thing that Abraham's covered here is that you've got to have that common contact ID. These foundations actually help us, with the connectors, help us actually build the experiences we're talking about. The solution kits really are our approach and a guide to help you understand how you can actually make these real. What are the right configuration settings? What are the right implementation considerations, et cetera? It's a guide. It doesn't mean that it tells you exactly what you need to do, step 1, step 2, step 3. You still need to know how to actually set up the basics of a cloud, but actually gives you the directions on how you would actually achieve this. And it's really helpful because we see customers struggling sometimes with how do I actually make this the right way? There's many different options. This is a big platform. You have tons of ways you can make some of these use cases real. And Mike's really going to also cover about how they've used it from a partner perspective to help you, the customer, be successful. So let's go into a little bit more detail. When I think about what a solution kit is, actually, before I do that, please make sure you download this. This is super important. sfdc.co/B2C solution kits. Go ahead and download it right now. You can actually start looking through the guides as I'm going through it so you can see what the content actually looks like. So the solution kit really covers a couple of things. First, it has the high-level overview. We're talking about very specific use cases. I'm not saying that we're going to tell you exactly how to integrate all the pieces, but it will actually cover something like abandoned cart. How do you actually do abandoned cart? What are things you need to consider? What are the right configuration settings? Order on behalf, any of those use cases. The second piece is the workflow. When you really think about the workflow, it's the overall end-to-end experience, right? How do you go from a customer experience, what is the customer going to do, and then you think about what the actual system, or let's say we're talking about order on behalf, a service rep's going to do, and then ultimately the system and how it's going to interact between each other. That gives you the starting point. So now you know at least the big picture of how everything's going to fit together. Then it's going to go into configurations. What are the right permissions? What are the right settings for order on behalf of? You have to have the service rep have a specific Commerce Cloud configuration and a permission. If you don't have that, it's not going to work. So how do you make sure that all of those things are taken into account so that you have all of that information and you're not trying to find it here, there? It's really clear and simple for you. And then last but not least, the considerations. There are certain limitations in terms of what the products can do out of box today. There's always ways to customize it. That's why it's a platform. But if you want to stick to how out of box works, then there are certain limitations. We cover those limitations so you have clear directions on what is supported, what is not supported. So as you look at your specific business, you can actually customize it further to specifically meet your needs and your business use cases. As we move to kind of the different use cases, what we've done so far is we really looked at commerce, marketing, and service. And as Aryan covered, the 6 moments, the 6 key moments, that's pretty much where we see a lot of challenges or a lot of questions come up from customers on how do I go do this. And that's really meant to help you, right? This is where you can go very quickly look at it. Partners can use it, customers can use it, and it's a way to help you guys get started. And the 6 ones are the abandoned cart, personalized recommendations, transactional emails, coupon redemption, and then view order history and order on behalf of. We're going to work on a lot more for the rest of the year. There's actually a couple of new ones coming out pretty soon around Heroku and Commerce Cloud. There's some other ones that we're also working on right now. So again, there's going to be a lot of work. As Aryan mentioned earlier, this is a huge investment from Salesforce. We're serious and committed about making this easy for you. So let's do a demo. You know what? Salesforce is always good with demos, so we're going to do a demo. And let me switch. The use case here is going to be order on behalf. And I'm going to switch my screen here quickly. So
Wait, it's not showing yet. It's not showing.
how do I move to the browser here? Nope, it's the same machine.
Oh, you should escape. Did you Alt-Tab?
Yeah, I did.
No, then escape out of the, in the show.
Okay.
There we go. And it should go back to the browser.
This is much more harder than CrossCloud. CrossCloud's way easier.
There you go.
All right, there we go. Awesome. So the idea here is that I am Rachel. I've had some issues placing an order or having issues placing a specific order, whatever. I've filled in and I'm calling service rep. And the idea is that I've already placed in a case here. I'm looking at specific information for Rachel. Everyone knows what the service console looks like. Everyone here pretty much understand it. Essentially on the left, you've got all the cases. I can very quickly walk through the different UI elements. And on the right, I have all the details for that specific customer. What's interesting, what Abraham talked about is, and this is our demo environment with the connector. This is the Commerce Cloud ID that's coming through from Commerce Cloud into Service Cloud. And the same way, the Service Cloud ID, contact ID for Rachel, is also stored in Commerce Cloud. And that's how we're connecting the systems together. So I can look through the information of that specific customer. I can go into related. I can actually look at additional information for that specific customer as well. So I can look at order history, case history, things like that. So let's look at the specific case here. What I'm going to look at now is I'm talking to them. They're like, I want some help here. I'm going to select launch shopping cart. Again, this is using the connector. The connector actually comes with some of these capabilities. And what you see right here on top is the red bar. This tells me that as an agent, and I'm using the permission setup, help through the solution kit, what this needs to look like. So I'm logged in as Rachel. I'm going to order specific products based on Rachel. So let's say I'm looking for a jacket. And I'm going to go for a women's jacket. And I'm just going to pick one jacket here. Let's pick this one, Adventure. And what I can do now, I'm ordering. As you can see, this flow is a standard flow, right? I'm not making anything unique here. But the important piece is I'm ordering as that customer. And that's what this order on behalf of capability does for you. So I can continue to billing. Select my credit card. And then just type in and place the order. So what's happening is when I place the order in Commerce Cloud, it's using the connector to publish that information back into Salesforce as an order that was placed by the customer itself. So when I go into orders here, it should show that Rachel placed a new order. This, from an agent perspective, allows me to confirm that the order was placed. It's using the connection and the foundation that we talked about to actually look at the specific details for that order. So I can select the order details here. Actually, there we go. I can look at the line items and totals. And this gives me all the information about, yep, the order went through, and the status for that order is confirmed. What's interesting is on the business manager side, what I can look at is I can look through all the orders that I've placed in Commerce Cloud, and what it allows you to do is also see the information there. I just placed this order for Rachel, and you can see it's set up as an admin versus the customer itself. So again, we're trying to tie up all of these different pieces, and the foundation, the solution kits, all of these things are really helping you put together these experiences. So that's me. I'm Salesforce. I can always market this as much as I want. But the reality check is Mike over here. And with that, please I'd like to introduce Mike to walk us through the reality check.
Thank you.
Oh, let me switch.
That presentation.
Yep, let me get it. Mike, you have the comm.
Excellent. Cool. My name is Mike King. I am a Chief Technical Architect for Capgemini in North America. My job for a long time has been to help customers do the best possible implementations and the best possible work on Salesforce Commerce Cloud. That world has gotten a lot bigger lately. Historically, when we encountered situations that Commerce Cloud wasn't the right fit for, our answer was to tell our clients, we'll go find a partner that does that and then come back when you're ready and we'll figure out how to integrate it with Commerce Cloud. That's really not good enough anymore from a consultant perspective, and it's probably not good enough anymore for brands and clients who work directly. You should be able to kind of think these things through, and so that's what we're really focused on and what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm going to be talking about it with a very specific example, a real example. This was the beginning of this year. We had a conversation with a client who was in the outdoors space, a very large sporting goods brand, and they came to us for help because they had spent a lot of time and a lot of energy on these whiteboarding sessions where they had put together all of the ideas for what their ultimate destination experience for their customer would look like. And I'm sure that many people in this room have done this type of exercise before. And this is not really considering the how. It's not getting bogged down in the cost or the structure. It's just saying, what do we want this to look like? And they have about 20 sites. They're active all over the world. It's a big experience. And so we saw some very common things. Redesign the site, think about conversion, build live chat. But we also saw some more aspirational things like warranties and service, and then building a community for their customers within the experience so they can share the things that they love about the brand. So my job as an architect is to bring order to chaos. And this is chaos. It's beautiful chaos, it's aspirational chaos, but it's not something actionable. And so we have to figure out how to take this and turn it into a real experience that customers can hack. And so how do we do that? We start by just ingesting everything. And you do this on your own, in your own whiteboarding sessions, where you just take in, what does it all want to be someday when it all grows up? And then we look for common threads. We start to tease it apart. And what about these looks like commerce? What about these is a marketing experience? What about this is a service integration? And we start to tease it into those things. And some things will require some totally outside solution, but a lot of it can be accomplished with this suite. And then we look for the appropriate solutions for all of this. Does it go into Service Cloud? And if so, what parts of the data go into Service Cloud versus Commerce Cloud versus Marketing Cloud? And then look for accelerators. And the solution kits that Mihir was just talking about are perfect accelerators in this because they show us how to get from point A to point B. And it allows me as a consultant to explain to my client not just that we can do this, but how we're going to do it and how long it's going to take and what we're going to need from them in order to get there. So let's talk about a phased approach to this. And this is a version of a real deliverable that I would bring to a client and say, here's what we're going to do for you, and here's how long it's going to take. We're going to start by figuring out the data strategy. We know the things that you want to do long term. We are going to figure out how your customer profile is going to live. We're going to orchestrate that subscriber key across all of these different channels, because if we don't nail that up front, it's going to cause a big problem in a year when we try to really dig into this Service Cloud integration. We're going to think about the customer profile and how it's going to move around and how it's going to get orchestrated. And once we have that whole foundation laid, then we're going to move into the fun stuff. So phase one for us with this client was to just nail the commerce and customer experience piece. Redesign the site, get the conversion, get the traffic, make sure that customers can find the products that they're looking for, purchase them efficiently, they have a really good experience on the site. This is the bread and butter of commerce, and if you're not doing this well, then all of the rest of it isn't going to matter. So get this in place, and while you're doing it, put in place the tools you need to measure the results of everything else you're going to be doing so that you're not kind of just firing blind, and maybe drive a little bit more revenue to help fund the ongoing efforts. So this was the first phase, and in order to accomplish that, we had found these solution kits to be extremely helpful. So our abandoned cart, coupon redemption, marketing recommendations, transactional emails, this will tell you exactly how to do these things, and it will tell you in a way that's very structured and very repeatable, which is particularly helpful as we move into something like the service integration, where now we're going to talk about the post-purchase journey, how to support customers when they have a warranty claim, how to support customers when they need customer service or live chat, or they have a return, or all of these types of things that are a very important part of this engagement with the customer. In this case, we had a couple of solution kits that we could leverage. Order on behalf of, view customer history, the things that Mihir was just demoing. But there were a lot of cases that weren't covered by solution kits. And that's okay, because the solution kits aren't intended to solve every possible problem that you'll ever encounter. If they did that, I wouldn't have a job anymore. What they do is give you a framework that's repeatable, and they show you how, okay, well, I've got a situation that it doesn't quite meet. What are the steps it's going to take for me to orchestrate this whole thing and get where I'm going? So once we had this in place, then we can move into the really aspirational stuff. So now our client is engaging with their customer all across the touch points, up to the sale, past the sale. Now they want to get their customers engaging with each other to turn their brands into a destination for their customers to talk about the outdoor experiences they love. And that's where Community Cloud seemed like an interesting fit for us, and we can start to layer that on. There are no solution kits around this currently. However, we have the tools that we need to build our own solution kits as we figure out what the data points are, what the integration looks like, how things flow between these systems, and do it in a repeatable way. So that's the place that we ended up. What I would say is just keep in mind that these solution kits are a framework. They're going to solve some problems really well, and then they're going to give you a template to solve other problems that may come up in your own experiences in a very similar way.
Mike, that was, whoa, that's loud. All right, Mike, that was really interesting. I think one question I have for you is, we've covered a lot of technology, how you do technology pieces, but what is the other thing that you typically see from a cross-cloud perspective that's really important?
Yeah, the biggest challenge that I'm seeing, and that I think a lot of you will encounter as well, is actually not around the technology. In some senses, the technology is the easy part, but we have this very aspirational vision of all of the key players getting in a room together, discussing what the right way to do this is, and what the timeline is, and who's going to do what, and then we just make this plan and go. But the reality is, in most organizations, especially large organizations, marketing, commerce, and service, they're not the same pillars. They're going to have different priorities, they're going to have different timelines, they're going to have different preferred partners that they want to work with for their implementations. And so getting this all orchestrated across a big organization and making sure that everybody knows what the dependencies are and what the sequencing is and whose budget it's going to come out of, that's where it gets really tricky, and that's a harder problem to solve, but it has to be discussed early on.
No, that's awesome, right? Like, I think the thing with cross-cloud is it's like one of our colleagues love to do this triangle. It's people, process, and technology, and it's really important that you take that into account. And what we want to talk about is, as we move to the future, and that's when Aryan's going to come in, we're putting all of that together. How do we actually think through the UI and the capabilities that we have and make it simple, yet take all the technology pieces into account? So with that, let's talk about the future with Aryan.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike and Mihir. Is my mic on?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike and Mihir. It's great to see the partnership with Capgemini, and we look forward to consistently to evolve the tools and resources that you're using on your customer engagements. Okay, so now, you heard from Abraham. He shared with you best practices. You heard from Mike and Mihir about solution kits and how you can use today's technologies to deliver these seamless experiences. Now let's pivot a little bit towards Customer 360. Is it going to make all of this easier and better and faster? And the answer to that is yes, it will. So let me share with you how. What is Customer 360? Well, as many of you know, we have apps that are for B2C marketing, service, and Commerce Cloud. And on its own, these apps work great. But when you're rolling out cross-cloud use cases, it starts to get really complex. Each one of these applications is its own technology stack. They have their own data model. And today, we essentially leave it up to our customers and our partners to piece it all together and tie it all together. Well, with Customer 360, it is our next generation platform capability that will make our commerce, marketing, and service clouds products work better together. So what does that encompass? That includes a declarative UI that allows you to register all of your tenants and clouds, all of your Commerce Cloud realms and your Marketing Cloud IDs and your Salesforce orgs that you own, and register them together. Our customer resolution engine then takes all that and all the data and is able to generate a single Salesforce relationship for every customer that you do business with. And when you have that single identifier and that single profile for Rachel, as an example, you're able to deliver those cross-channel customer experiences through pre-built packages built by Salesforce, or even our partners, or even you as our customers. So it's pretty incredible. But let's take an example so it really hits home. Rachel here, because of her engagement with your brand, she is now represented as 4 disconnected records across all of your applications. She is a subscriber in Marketing Cloud. She is a customer record in Commerce Cloud. She's also a person account in Service Cloud. And she is a community profile in Community Cloud. These are 4 distinct records. Our clouds view Rachel as 4 different individuals. And that's a problem, because she's experiencing these disconnected, siloed experiences. Customer 360 effectively establishes, got too trigger happy, effectively establishes a single Salesforce relationship connecting those 4 records together. And that's really, really important. And what Customer 360 is able to do, our customer resolution engine, takes all of that data about Rachel across all of your clouds and matches against personally identifiable data, things like first name and last name and email address and phone number, matches against that again and resolves it against the rules that you configure within Customer 360. And with that, Customer 360 is able to generate a single ID and profile representing Rachel and connects that back It makes it accessible for all of your applications, all of your clouds. Now, this may sound very similar to solution kits and connectors. Well, however, Customer 360 is taking it to the next level. It's making it more declarative. It's the advanced matching capabilities. It's truly a platform capability, and we're taking a very deliberate approach to solving for this new persona that we call a cross-cloud admin and our data stewards. So it's pretty incredible things. Now, what can you do with this ID and profile? Great, it's accessible by all systems. Well, you can deliver experiences like this. With Customer 360 GA, which is approaching in November of this year, we are going to be delivering Service for Commerce Lightning components. And what these Lightning components will enable you to do is that your service agents now have complete visibility into Rachel's order history right there in the Service Console without having to swivel chair in between systems and logging into Commerce Cloud to pull and extract that information. Pretty incredible, powerful stuff under the hood of Customer 360. So now let's take a recap. Customer 360, it is a product capability. It is going to make Marketing Cloud, Commerce Cloud, Service Cloud work better together. And under that, we are going to be providing a declarative UI that allows you to register all of your tenants across all of your clouds. We will have a customer resolution engine that takes all of your data, all of your customer data, and creates and persists a single ID and profile for each individual that you do business with. Our data and our metadata services enables Customer 360 to act as a hub so that when you are making changes to Rachel, an email address, a postal address, any of that, under the hood, C360 will take care of that for you. And finally, with all of this power, we're able to deliver on those experiences, those 6 key moments that matter in Rachel's journey and every other touch point that you see that we haven't talked about yet. So, with that, I want to continue to reiterate this. Salesforce is investing heavily through the cross-cloud program as well as through Customer 360 efforts. We're providing you with the tools and resources and product capabilities you need to make your multi-cloud deployment successful. And you can take action right here today to leverage these solution kits and deliver those key moments that matter on your customer engagements. Now, we know 40 minutes is never enough time to be able to articulate the complexity and depth of cross-cloud, so we have a guide for you in terms of how can you continue your journey to grow your cross-cloud expertise here as you close out your last day at Trailhead DX, as well as beyond. So we encourage you at Trailhead DX, go to our Customer 360 booth, check out the Commerce Marketing and Service Cloud demos. There are sessions here at the bottom. There's one in 30 minutes, connecting commerce and service for a complete customer journey. And at 2 p.m. today, how to integrate Commerce, Marketing, and Service Cloud with Customer 360. Incredible stuff. And please don't forget about these key links. Log in and get access. Subscribe to our Customer 360 newsletter. Powerful stuff. You'll get amazing updates about what you'll expect and what to expect. Download our solution kits. I know Mihir, Abraham, Mike, and I can't say this enough. Download them. There's 6 available today. Please give us feedback. Tell us how it can be better. What other use cases should we be building? And continue on this. And remember, throughout this journey that you go through, know that you're not alone. We are here for you. Come up to us and ask us questions. And if you don't have that time, reach out to your customer success manager. They will pull us in, and we will help you make things happen. Thank you, everyone.